Oh, the final pod of the year. It's sad. Sad.
The final countdown, buddy. Super Bowl Sunday.
It's the final countdown. Who's singing the national anthem? Do we know that?
I don't, actually.
Should I look?
Can't be as good as Chris Stapleton was. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God! I still watch that. That is just
epic.
Who is singing? I got a free entry into a Charlie Puth. Okay, I got a free entry into a like a props contest to win 20 grand.
Let's go.
Of course, the first question was over under on 120 seconds on the national anthem. I went under. Is it usually right around 2 minutes? Right on 2 minutes.
I think it usually is. I don't know if this guy Charlie Puth holds his notes. That's what you got to find out.
Yeah. Well, we're down to one more game. I know you're not alive in your Megabucks New York.
Sadly,
but yeah. But we got one more game left, and all the leagues come down to this. I sent out a note to the Megabucks New York League this morning. That's basically looks like 5 or 6 people above sea level, and then all the people, there's a couple people that haven't placed a single bet yet, and then plenty more. I think you can backdoor the money, because if all the people at the top are gunning and go account ride on whatever bet they make, then somebody who doesn't bet at all, or it's happened many times where somebody forgot to bet and they end up
in fourth,
second or third. Yeah,
and whatever. Even at fourth, you get 5% of the money.
That's right.
I mean, it's so great.
Well, let's take everybody through our handicap to start it off. You want to go first? I know you have a strong opinion. So do I.
Well, listen, I just feel that I think the teams are pretty even. If you look at the DVOA numbers and the defense numbers, the offense numbers, etc., I'm kind of throwing out the poor offensive numbers for the Patriots based on the weather that they experienced in their playoff games. So I know that's a big thing on TV. Everyone's talking about, how the Patriots offense has struggled lately. I kind of take that with a grain of salt. I don't know how you feel about it, but the weather they had.
By the way, their DVOA is very high. I think they're the 4th ranked offense in the NFL. They're ranked higher than Seattle, which is 10th. It's their defense which is ranked very low.
Yeah.
And of course, Seattle's defense number 1.
I think New England's defense is a lot better than their ranking. I mean, they're really good against the run, especially when they have the big guy back in the middle, which they have. I don't see Seattle having a lot of success running the ball. I think that if Kenneth Walker is going to do well, it's going to be a lot of short passes to him, because he does really well on the outside. He's really not great between the tackles. So no Charbonnet. That's going to hurt them in the red zone. I guess I'm a guy that wants to see Sam Darnold prove it to me again, even though he proved it during the Ram game. I thought he played the best game of his life against the Rams. I don't think he's capable of duplicating that, especially against New England's defense. So I'm taking the 4.5. I have, rather than a New England money line, I have a Drake May MVP bet at plus 245. If New England wins, I think he's going to win the MVP. And I have a few props. I like the Hunter Henry touchdown, because Seattle struggles to cover the tight end historically. The only weakness they have on defense is that. And I'm curious to see how the Patriots deal with JSN. They do play a tremendous amount of zone. It's not like they're going to have Gonzalez chase him all over the field. So I think Seattle, listen, the Rams had a plan against JSN too, and he torched him. So sometimes when you're a great receiver, you just beat good coverage and there's nothing you can do about it. But I think New England will do enough to keep this game close. I do not expect a blowout. And who knows? I've been ice cold in the playoffs. It's well documented. I was fading the public. The public's been hot. The public's been really, really hot in the playoffs.
But it's funny, only in the playoffs.
Yes. Right? They were horrible regular season, 38%. We did very well going against them. But they are 9-1 going into championship weekend. The public was. Against the spread, which is just a remarkable turnaround. So I got torched, and 70% of the money and tickets are on Seattle And you could understand why. I mean, Seattle is, you could argue, I know you think that they were in the best conference in the league, that they were able to win that conference. They played a lot tougher schedule than New England has played. But I just have a weird, funny feeling of Vrabel as an underdog role. And I'm going to roll the dice and take the points. And I think New England could win the game. So that's how I feel about it. Hopefully it's a close game so that everybody can enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see that also. I do like Seattle. I think that my handicap's based on, I would say, I'd say three major things. First of all is strength of schedule, and really not like everybody's talking about, oh, the Patriots had a horrible schedule. I'm talking about the strength of schedule of Seattle, which is primarily just living week in and week out in that NFC West, which had the best three teams in the league with them and San Francisco and the Rams. They had to everybody play each other twice. Some of the best games of the season. The game they lost to the Rams is the last game that they lost. That was 9 games ago. Okay, so that strength of schedule is key for me. And also, they played Carolina, they played Atlanta, two good teams. I won't say better than good for the NFC. And I just think the AFC was weak this year. So it's sort of like, to me, the wins. And I looked at both teams' entire schedule and just like all the scores. You know what jumped out at me initially was the first game of the year for the Patriots. They lost to the Raiders like 20-10. I know that was a long time ago, but I just thought that was a little interesting. Played 2 good games against Buffalo, won 1 on the road, lost 1 at home, a heartbreaker.
Yes.
I think I'd say their biggest win of the year was probably the Baltimore game on the road. And, again, I didn't think much of Baltimore this season, and they were sort of falling apart, and Lamar was hurt all year. And so, take that win with a grain of salt. It was okay. And then their playoff victories. It's just like, a horrible offense in the Chargers, who also like had no offensive line. Houston, I would say that's a good win against Houston. Although I kind of felt like CJ Stroud self-destructed, and if they were even, remotely good on offense, they could have won that game. And I also feel like they would have won. They would have lost the Denver game if Bo Nix was playing, or even if the weather didn't get bad in that game. I kind of felt like, Denver was 1 play away that entire game from either taking the lead or, kicking the field goal and tying it and then finding a way to win. So, a bit of smoke and mirrors for the Patriots, but just so impressed with what Seattle did this year. And then I would say the second thing is the rest advantage, which I think I don't think it's funny. I haven't really heard that many people talk about that this week, but I kind of find that to be an even bigger advantage than the strength of schedule stuff that I just mentioned, because they had a bye. And then, I mean, how many plays did everybody play in the San Francisco game? Like, that was an easy win for them. And so they come into this in home time zone advantage, right? Okay, the Patriots had to fly to the West Coast, and they've been doing stuff all week long at night. And I just kind of feel like that, combined with the fact that they didn't have a bye and had to play, 2 horrible games in the weather, fine, like they got the home game against the Chargers, but it's a rest disadvantage for the Patriots. And I think that'll show up in the second half. Yeah.
I'll say one thing I saw, ironically, the team that goes from east to west anytime it's happened in the Super Bowl has been the winning team.
Is that right?
Yes.
It's funny because I brought up remember that stat I dug up on one of the pods in the middle of the year that I saw that woman analytics person say that West Coast teams that play at night win 80% of the time over East Coast teams, because it's everything that I just said. It's basically going to be 9:30 at night for them when the game starts. I know they've adjusted and they've been there all week, but they've also been going out and have press obligations and interviews and all that stuff to do. So it's tiring.
Yeah.
Anyway, no rest for the weary, but
the other thing I saw that supports you, and I know you like Seattle, is there's only been 4 instances in the past where a team has come in off 9 straight wins and 5 straight against the spread. And all 4 of those teams have won the Super Bowl in blowout fashion.
Wow. Interesting.
So that supports Seattle and your than your play on Seattle just basically, putting it to the Patriots. And yeah, I think if you like Seattle in this game, you like them to win by, at
Margin.
least double digits. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like, I
By
don't know.
margin. That's
I
why.
don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think that the 4.5 is going to matter. Like, to me, it's either New England's going to win the game or Seattle could trounce them. So
Yeah.
I'm betting that New England's going to be in the game the entire time. And
Well, why
that
don't you bet some? Why don't you bet some Seattle alt lines? Why don't you bet Seattle 9.5, 12.5, like stuff like that's out there at really favorable odds. And that's a good
just
way
to
to
have
leverage.
one ticket as a hedge.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. Maybe 16.5.
Oh, that's
Like
a big.
plus, yeah, if you think they're going to win by 17, get a
Yeah.
16.5 ticket plus like 350.
Yeah. I kind of like, I kind of like the 11.5, that area, 10.5, because there's a chance that they could be up by 10 late and it may end up being the cover, like whether, New England, scores and gets it within a score and like all that kind of stuff happening. But yeah, I kind of feel that way also. I think I would love to see a close game, but if it plays out the way I think it will, it could be a big win for Seattle.
Well, the issue for
I'm
New
surprised, by the
England,
way, I'm surprised you like New England. You hate New England.
yeah, I like Vrabel and I like Josh McDaniel a lot as a coordinator. I think he's a genius, and I think he's going to find a way to beat Seattle's defense. And I don't know if it'll be a gimmick. I don't know. I think Ramonde is going to have a good game. I think you can run on Seattle a little bit. The Rams always ran on Seattle pretty well with Kyron. I don't see any reason why Ramonde can't run on Seattle. You got Henderson, who's a game breaker. If he gets into the second level, he's gone. I'm not saying he will, but if he does, you can't catch him.
I really disagree with that take. Like Seattle's run defense.
If he gets into the second level, you can get and the injury to the safety that happened this week. I mean, he's walking around on a bad ankle, and I thought he was one of their best players, number 3.
Oh, the rookie.
Yeah, the rookie.
Oh,
he's
Manure
everywhere
or whatever. Yeah,
he's got a bad ankle.
Yeah,
So,
but I think he should be fine.
Hey, let's see. Listen, it's not a high ankle sprain, it's a low ankle sprain. But I'll tell you this, these guys are tough. He'll take Toradol and lidocaine or whatever he's got to take. But you step one, when you have that type of an injury and you take a wrong step or you catch a cleat or that shit is pain up your entire leg. This is you could miss multiple weeks with a high ankle sprain. So this isn't like, oh, I just twisted my ankle. He has a real injury. And he is there. I think he's one of their best players. I mean, every time I watch Seattle, I see number 3 makes another play. Number 3, the guy's everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he didn't win rookie defensive player of the year. They gave it to the guy on the Browns. Who he makes every tackle, but he made 1 million tackles. That's why they gave it to him. But I think this kid's a better player than that guy.
Schlesinger also, I think the league just loves his story because he was basically undrafted. I mean, he was our 5th round pick, but he was a non-scholarship player at UCLA who I think walked on and ended up winning the starting job and becoming the captain. And he did similar stuff for the Browns this year. He was hurt
wild
beyond, you know what I mean? Beyond any expectation that he would play. And he ended up
goes out there and plays and makes tackles
every down, like one of these
guys
doesn't miss tackles out of the game.
He does not miss tackles. That guy, he made 1 million tackles this year.
I know. He's sick. Great. One promising part of the Browns story this year. All right. So we both like
my favorite Steelers of all time, Jack, is James Harrison, who was undrafted out of Kent State.
I know. Kent State
became a dominant NFL linebacker.
Yeah. I love those guys. All right. So you're on New England. I'm on Seattle. Any opinion on the total? I kind of lean under. I think you like the over. Is that right?
I actually like the over. I think it's contrarian. I think most people think New England's going to have a hard time scoring against Seattle's defense. So I've seen a lot of 27-10, 24-10, that type of thing. And it'd be way under the 45.5. I have a sneaky suspicion that McDaniel is going to be able to eventually figure it out. And New England's going to eventually be able to score. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I think it's going to be Hunter Henry. I think it's going to be Ramonde. I think it could be Mac Collins or the deep threat kid. Kendrick Bourne. Is that his name?
Yeah.
the guy who catches the deep balls for New England all the time. I think that's who the guy is. Number 8. He's fast.
Oh, he's great form.
Yeah. So that guy, I mean, I think Drake May throws a nice ball. The question is, obviously he's going to get sacked. Seattle really brings a lot of pressure with just 4. They have a rookie left tackle who struggled in pass protection. We know that. The question to me is which quarterback's going to turn it over more? Drake's probably going to fumble the ball in the pocket at least once. He does that a lot. And Sam Darnold's definitely throwing an interception. The question is he going to throw
prop? Did you bet the prop that Sam would throw one? Is that out there?
It's minus 135.
That he throws an interception?
Yes.
Oh my God. You have to bet. You have to bet that he won't.
Then you have to bet that he won't. But that's exactly right, because I thought I'd be getting odds, but they know he's throwing 1. Question is, will he throw 2 or 3?
Yeah.
New England secondary is very good. I like what they got going on back there with Carlton Davis and obviously Gonzalez, and I like their scheme. New England's a very smart team defensively. They always seem to be in the right position, and they cause a lot of turnovers. They might not be the Bears, but they do create a lot of turnovers.
Yep. Just looking at this, Eamon Warry's status.
He
doesn't have an injury designation going into the game.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I mean, listen, he was limping around, but these guys all limp around. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right. So you like over. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a slugfest, a boring first half, 6-3, 6-0, 10-3, like one of those, and then maybe the breakout, but maybe not. I told you on the phone, I like the Seattle shutout prop, 50-1.
Right.
If they play great defense and maybe take a 17-0 lead into the third quarter, then, maybe they won't kick field goals to try to catch up if they happen to get into the red zone. Yeah. All right. So I like Seattle in the under. You like New England in the over.
It's so perfect.
Let's see what happens.
And I've been ice cold. So take that data with what you want.
It's funny. You said earlier that the public is 9-1 and you happen to be 1-9.
Correct. Yeah. I faded the public the same way I did all year.
I know, but that wasn't the basis of your handicap. You actually liked all this,
It wasn't. I mean, listen, I had the Bills in Denver. I had the Rams in Chicago, and that last Hail Mary cost me the cover. I mean, I had some tough beats, I mean, that's gambling.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes,
Okay. Any commentary on the entire season that you want to,
Yeah, I think
our listeners with?
I would like to see, and I've always said this to you, I'd like to see the league more eye in the sky from this league. I'd like to see after expedited review, quarterback got hit in the head. It's a 15-yard penalty. I just think they need to correct the mistakes the officials are making on the field, because these mistakes, even you saw it in the playoffs, cost teams games, and you can't have it anymore. Like, people are watching these games on 80-inch TVs. We see every play, every angle, every replay. You can't allow an official to determine the outcome of a game anymore. It's just not fair. It's just stupid. So I don't care what they do. Honestly, I don't care if they give you unlimited challenges or if they're going to just do it themselves. I'd rather just see them do it themselves. Honestly,
right? Just tighten up the whole thing, like
the whole thing.
Self-reviewing their own plays, like. That was a very important call or a critical call. Let's take a second look at it and we'll reverse it. But we'll decide. I mean, that by the way, I love that idea, because that takes it out of the coach's hands from deciding whether they have to challenge it or not. And it's just kind of like, you know what? If you have, let's just say, 3 to 5 guys at the main league office with all these flat screens and all these close angles, and they look at a replay and they see something, they can push a button and say, hold on a second, guys, we're looking at that. Okay, by the way, we just decided that's not a personal foul against a quarterback. Play on.
Yeah.
Pick the flag up. And no explanation. We just decided it's not a flag.
I like that. And I like it because you can prove it on television with replay. Like during the playoff game, Stafford got hit in the face on one of the throws and it changed the outcome of the game. Like that should, on the last drive, that should have been a 15-yard penalty and a first down. And it wasn't.
I know. That's such a great. By the way, that's a commentary on everything that's going on in this country these days. It's like when there's video evidence of something and the entire country is looking at it, whether it be a football game or the national news
Yeah, it
or
could be.
some political event. When
Yeah.
everyone sees something, nobody should come out and say something completely opposite.
Yeah.
It should just be changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of do. You get into a little bit of a slippery slope when you're talking about political stuff and like court of law stuff, because that's where you need multiple angles. Like it's kind of like the old thing, like with eyewitnesses, right? In a court of law, eyewitnesses can be wrong, so it's a little bit murkier, I think, with the legal shit.
Sure, there is some of
But
that. But there's also,
I do agree with you in the sports that we're all seeing it. We're seeing multiple different angles, right? Like when you see when a guy's foot is out of bounds, you can tell. They'll zoom in, right? Like that kind of stuff. Like
what was? Let me ask you this. Let's have a little bit of let's do our awards without getting too formal with them. What was the worst call of the year in your mind?
Wow, the worst.
What stands out? I think what stands out to me is the Buffalo catch.
That's going to be for a lot of people. That's going to be for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Cooks, was he down with possession and did the guy roll over and steal the ball? I mean, that changed the game. I think it was at least worthy of a game stoppage and a review. They didn't even do that. I think that's why McDermott was so upset after the game. But these players, they'll tell you, like,
does anything else stick out to you that was like just an egregious missed call?
I mean, there were many. We talked about it on the podcast every week. The officiating in the league is horrible. At this moment in time today, can I recall it? No, but there are calls every week where we scratch our heads and we're like, how the hell did that guy miss that call? Or how did they make that call in that situation? And I didn't love the call, the pass interference call at the end of that Denver game either, on White on the deep ball. Rubbin is racing. They're both going for the ball. He didn't catch it, and now you put them on the 5-yard line. I don't know. I'd rather just see him, let him play, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I actually, it's funny what we're talking about with the roughing the passer, because I actually, that's like sticking out to me. And I'm like you, I can't put my finger on exactly which, but I kind of, and Trevor Lawrence in Houston comes to mind also right now. But the amount of roughing the passer calls that were either called or not called.
Yes.
And also the severity of them and how it's so subjective, whether you're going to call it or not in the first place. And then, that video you shared with me about Flacco talking about that, how it's just so ticky-tack now. But
Flacco doesn't
feel like the league has to look at that and maybe change again, either go to the eye in the sky and overrule a call or put one in if they see something really egregious. But there were plenty of times each week where a quarterback would get hit hard in the face with either a slap or some kind of contact to the head, and it wasn't called. And then a really sort of light touch to the head or something could be called and decide the outcome of the game.
The one that I hate, and I think Flacco hates too, and I agree, is when you're sacking the quarterback with your shoulder. It's a perfect form tackle. You take him to the ground. If you land on him, how are you not supposed to land on him? How?
Well, it's only through, a weird type of leverage and skill that you can avoid doing that.
I think that's got to be a rule that's eliminated. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know you're trying to protect the quarterbacks, but you can't take a guy with a perfect form tackle who's 300 pounds and tell him not to put his weight on a guy when he's tackling when the shoulder wrapped him around and he's driving him to the ground. I don't know what these guys want.
Right.
I mean, you have to wrap them up, right? Because guys like Ben, these bigger guys, they'll just get out of it. Josh Allen, Lamar, even, he's slippery. Like, you have to wrap them up or they're going to get out of it.
Yep. Bad beat of the year.
How about this? How about dumbest play of the year? And this was
okay, fine. I think I know what you're going to say.
This was a recent one.
This may be the same category, but what do you think of bad beat of the year?
Bad beat of the year.
I mean, I think there were only two.
In terms of gambling?
Spread. Yeah. I think there's only
pitchy woo-woo this year.
No, but there was the one that sticks out to me, and there were to me only two, and it's probably your dumbest play of the year one, but the Arizona game against Tennessee when it was the same game that DeMarcado dropped the ball,
Oh,
but late
that,
in
yeah.
that game,
Oh,
Tennessee won the game because a guy kicked the ball into the end zone and they fell on it. He threw an interception on third down. And it was things went from bad to worse if you were on
yeah.
Arizona that day. And maybe it was worse for me, bad beat wise, because I think it knocked you out of Survivor, but not me. I went
I
2
got
weeks
knocked
later.
out on the Green Bay at home against the Panthers
Oh my God.
after I told everyone on the podcast that it would happen.
But what sticks out to me as the bad beat was the Rams Eagles game when the Rams were down by 1 point,
Oh
getting
my
3.5
God.
and lining up to kick a field goal to win the game. They were down
Correct.
by 1. They
Yep.
were down by 1 and they were covering. And the
Yes.
fat ass from Philly blocked it and caught it.
Number
And all he had to
98.
do was go down or get tackled, and he
He
ran it
in.
back for a touchdown.
He ran it in. Jordan Davis.
That was killer.
That was
if you
from
had the
that was
Rams.
from that was absolutely insane. But yes, you're right. Dumbest player of the year, definitely DiRitardo, dropping the ball before he crossed the line. But also in the playoffs, that guy in Seattle, Woolen, for taking the taunting penalty
Oh my
and
God.
giving the ball back to the Rams and then the touchdown.
That would have gone down in history.
If
Thank
they
God
would
for
have
him.
lost that game,
Oh my God.
wow, that's
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah, I saw some replays of that also where it was such blatantly taunting
Oh,
that he started on one end of the bench and went down the entire bench calling out players and coaches.
and then he
for
got to
15
McVay. He got to
Yeah.
McVay, and that's where the flag came in.
Yeah. And by the way, I saw another funny angle where Devontae Adams tapped the referee's shoulder and said, "Watch, look at him. Look what he's
Look.
doing." Yeah, just pointing out, like ushering him down, and like, are you going to let him do that?
So great,
You
man.
see a lot of that, by the way, where a player will either ask for a flag themselves, a player with a lot of credibility, an all pro will either get up and just be like, well, what? You got to give me the flag there. And then the ref, fine, you want it? Here, take it.
Here it is.
Yeah.
You want it? It's great stuff, man. Unbelievable.
Oh,
What a year.
God.
What a season. A lot of laughs.
Do you agree with the big awards? I mean, I know you agree with the Stafford MVP.
I do.
award.
I thought Stafford deserved it, even though he lost that game. I thought he was the best quarterback this year in the league. I know he struggled in that one game at Carolina, but other than
Why
that,
was Trevor Lawrence nominated? I found that to be a little weird.
well, it was Trevor's best year. I mean, with Cohen. I mean, that was
You
a
don't
hell of a
give it
playoff
Josh
game.
Allen?
Jacksonville easily could have won that game. That was an amazing comeback by the Bills to win that game.
Yeah, I know. I kind of wish the Jags, won that game. I would have rather.
I know you were
seen
pulling for them.
I was, and I also wanted to see them go on, because
You like that defense.
Yeah. Then again, I take nothing away from that Buffalo Denver game. That was incredible. So you know what? It's fine. It's fine. The Bills. I feel bad for the Bills. Like, Jesus
I do
Christ.
too. I do too. I think Josh
I really
eventually
do.
will win it. I think it's not going to happen right away, but I think he's going to have a chance to finally get over the hump. It'd probably be later in his career, like Elway, sort of like an Elway thing, where he
Maybe, yeah.
struggled. He was great his whole career, and the last 2 years he wins 2.
Yeah.
I could see that for Josh, something like that.
Yeah. I do think today's game is very interesting in that context that, Sam Darnold was drafted ahead of Josh and Lamar, and he may be the first one to win of those 3. And that'll prove all the people right who thought he should have been picked first, and he was picked first. And even though the Jets blew it, Darnold may be the best talent of those 3, as hard as that is to believe.
Yeah, I think honestly, Darnold, the Jets didn't surround him with the right coaches, obviously, but also spending time with Kyle Shanahan, having a year with Kevin O'Connell. These guys are really, really smart, good coordinators and great quarterback guys. So I think you probably have to give the credit to those coaches for Sam's turnaround. This is a really, really bad Super Bowl for the Jets fans, for Jet fans. They
Oh,
obviously
Leonard Williams
hate
and
New
John
England.
Lynch.
They
Yeah.
are beside themselves that New England is back in this position again. It
Yep.
angers them so much.
Hmm.
Like I'm going to see Dave Rosie later. He's already angry.
Yeah, yeah, and
He's angry
yelling.
before he even walks into the house. He's angry because he can't root for New England. He can't root for Sam Darnold and Leonard Williams, who they also drafted, who is an All-Pro. And I understand he went to the Giants, and I understand Todd was explaining to me last night that they did get a lot back for him. They traded, they got Quentin Williams for him, whatever it was with that pick, and I understand it. But anytime you have the type of talent and you draft these talented players and you don't develop them properly, and they go to other teams and win Super Bowls, it makes you sick.
Yeah.
In your stomach that you weren't good enough to develop these guys, but you were smart enough to draft them. So even when you hit right on a draft pick, you still fuck it up.
And that's
what the Jets do. But a lot of teams do it. But the Jets do it probably more than most, you know.
And it's mostly, you know, the draft is such a crapshoot because you just never know if they're gonna be good pros, no matter what they do in college and how they grade out in the combines. It's just there's so many intangible things.
Totally.
You know, when it comes, right?
Look how bad Brady's combine was. Historically bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was slow. He was awkward. His throws weren't great. Like he had a bad combine. And he's the greatest quarterback maybe ever. So he's up there. You know, it's wild.
One more thing before we go. You want to offer your parting thoughts on the Steelers, and I'll do the same for the Browns heading into next year.
I mean, so we got McCarthy, probably the most underwhelming head coach signing in Steelers organizational history. Steelers obviously have had only 3 coaches in my lifetime. Tomlin, I thought for us was, you know, obviously a classy guy, a winner in the regular season and a loser in the playoffs.
Were you surprised he resigned?
I don't know if he resigned or he was pushed out. I'm hearing both type things. I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was asked to resign.
He was probably pushed out. I mean, I know the players cried about it.
Class as an organization that they don't fire, you know. So they said, "Mike, we want you to."
Yeah, and listen, the players were very upset about it. I mean, the leadership in the locker room, but you know, those are the same players that never won a game in the playoffs, like T.J. Watt, like crying over the coach being gone. But you know, in the playoff games, the guys virtually invisible, like on the field. Like these guys just aren't getting it done. But you said something along the lines of, and I think, you know, non-Steeler fans have this opinion of Tomlin that he takes his teams as far as he possibly can with the talent he has. In other words, the Steelers were never incredibly talented team, right? And he yet finds a way to win 10 games every year and gets you into a playoff game, usually on the road, and you lose. This year we had a home game, and obviously, you know, we weren't good enough for whatever reason. And part of that's true, but the reality is the Steelers, you know, the standard is the standard. We're trying to win Super Bowls, and if you're not going to be able to get playoff wins, you got to go. So I'm okay with Tomlin being gone, and I thank him for being a great coach. Who knows what McCarthy does? He does win a lot. You know,
he does.
He has won. So, and he's from Pittsburgh. It's his dream job. I'd like to see him go on the Ozempic and lose some weight before week 1.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like a heart attack waiting to happen to me. You know,
he does. I saw that clip of Aaron Rodgers coming up to him in camp and saying, "You fat fuck, what the hell
he's
happened?"
Fucking busting out of his suit now. He looked like he was going to explode. You know, so let's get the guy on the shot. Let's try and lose some weight. And let's see where we go this year. The draft's going to be very interesting for the Steelers. So I don't have huge expectations, but at the same time, I don't think we have the worst roster in the league. I mean, there's definitely some talent.
What coach did you want to have?
I was kind of hoping for a younger guy, you know, a guy in his 30s. I know the Rams defense didn't finish the year well, but I was kind of looking at Shula as a guy that I thought could be good. Meanwhile, I'm getting a text that Soo Woo Kim is in first place by himself.
Oh, nice. At 13 or 14?
I have that.
Yeah. 13 or 14.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
What
about the Browns?
Cleveland, well, similar to you, I think there were, I follow a lot of guys who are like Browns insiders, and the general consensus there was that we really wanted that guy Shieldhouse, the Rams passing coordinator, who's again like a young guy in his 30s, just sort of reset the whole organization.
Yep.
And general consensus was that if he didn't get the job, it was an indictment on on the ownership of Cleveland, which I kind of agree with. I think like, I don't know. And then there's plenty of voices out there that think that Todd Monken, who was on the Brown staff already, that he's going to be good for, because he's like a quarterback whisperer, and there's already talk that he thinks
Shador?
that he thinks that he can rehab
Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
It's like if he can make Lamar good, he can make Deshaun good, and he's also got Shador as another asset.
Well, Deshaun has he's coming off the Achilles, right?
Yeah,
but that a year. It's almost 2 years ago, isn't it? Or no?
Well, he's going to be healthy coming into camp this year.
Yeah, but the first year off Achilles is never good. Takes a second year mentally to get back to where you were.
That was this past year.
Okay.
Yeah. So
he got a shot. I mean, he's got to be better than Sanders, I would think. But
yeah, I think so. But
I think the Browns need a lot of work on their skill position.
The funniest take that I saw on Cleveland, I still laugh at this, is that the Browns interview process is like has this reputation of being like like getting into Harvard, and our Andrew Berry, our GM, went to Harvard, and like they're a very analytics driven organization, and it's like this 4-part interview process with a personality test, and it's like you have to take an analytics exam, and it's extremely rigorous. And I saw this comment on Twitter that just still makes me laugh, that said, it's obvious that the Browns are playing chess and the rest of the NFL is playing football.
That's great.
Just so damn funny.
God, that's great.
Look, Myles Garrett, DPOY, great season for him. I'm happy.
Yeah.
That was our crowning achievement this year. I think Schlesinger, being one of these, like old school tough white guys who never leaves the game, could be, another sort of hallmark of our defense. And then the other piece is Jim Schwartz. Like, he's not happy. He said he's leaving.
He's leaving.
I think he's under contract, so unfortunately he's not allowed to leave unless we let him. And I think the right thing to do is actually to let him leave, but they may not even do that. You know what I mean? Like he has to be let out of his contract if he wants to leave. So they may force him to coach the defense, which would be typical of the Browns. So a lot of dysfunction. I see most of it continuing. We'll see how the draft goes, but yeah, another bad year.
Our division's not going to be great. Let's face it.
Man, I can't believe what happened to our division. Like,
first
3 out of the 4 coaches gone.
Yeah. First 1 to 10 wins wins the division next year.
Yeah, or less, right?
I would think,
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Cincinnati, but
yeah, what are they going to do with Burrow? Who knows if they even re-sign him? He's a free agent, no?
No, he got a huge contract. What do you mean? He was like the richest quarterback in the league. Yeah.
Oh, he's signed. Okay. Yeah, so he's got to stay.
Yeah. All right, man.
Well, good luck today.
Yeah, you too.
We'll see how it goes. See, one of us is going to be right.
Great season on the pod, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We had a blast this year. Hopefully you did also. Hopefully you're still alive in your leagues, and if not, you had a profitable betting season, and hope you enjoyed the pod either way. And I think this was yet another year of reminders of how difficult sports betting is. The public did not do well until recently. Actually, I'm going to publish in today's newsletter some overall stats on the season. The winning percentage on side bets was like 49%. It was super low on parlays. Teasers were okay on one category, but I'm gonna put all that in the newsletter. And yeah, just a reminder how tough it is, and how how winning real money is almost impossible from these online sports books. So hopefully we continue to grow here at Want to Make a Bet. and you
Yeah,
guys
we
are
got
all
some
part
good
of that.
young additions in New York this year that are already
Yeah.
bringing in 5 new players each next year. So let's try and grow this the New York League.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, new blood.
Yeah, hopefully, Oceanside Jesse, if you're listening, hopefully you learned something from going all in on a money line favorite too early.
Yeah,
That's a lesson a lot of us have learned through the years.
he's in Santa
And
Clara
yeah,
right now. He's going to the game.
oh, is he?
Jesse's at Santa
That's great.
Clara. Yeah, he's been out there. He's going to the game this week tonight. I don't know who he likes, but I think he likes Seattle.
Really?
And I'm
Yeah.
with Jacob Rubin. I'm on Rubin likes New England.
Oh, really? Who's
And
Danny like?
I always feel good when I'm on the same side as JR.
Who's Douglas like?
He doesn't. Douglas doesn't have an opinion on the game. He's the one guy involved in all this that thinks we're all crazy for gambling. He doesn't agree with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Dad,
Rebelling
I think you need a new hobby, Dad.
against-
You're not very good at this, he tells me.
All right, buddy. Good job on the
great
pod this year.
Yep.
Everybody, thanks again for coming out, and we'll see you again in September.
Good luck in Megabucks. Whoever wins it, man. Doc Silver in the lead, right?
Yeah, good luck, Steven Silver. If you're listening, you've been there many times. You never cashed in first place, but yeah, good luck today.
Good
Bet
luck
the
to
parlay,
everyone.
not the teaser.